Hi, I'm Maria Luzak. I'm going to share my screen and talk to you about my idea uh, for the presentation for your group. And you'll have this link so you can go over it. So the title is Designing Your Own Lesson Using Instructional Method of ADDIE to combine your ideas into the prescribed curriculum choices. And in 45 minutes, going through the whole ADDIE system, I think is too much. What I'll do is explain that the ADDIE model is an instructional design model. It's usually used for designing whole curriculums. However, as a teacher, we can scale this down and kind of use this as a toolbox to help us to revitalize our lesson plans. So after explaining the ADDIE model, then I focus on one of the key things that as an instructional designer that I ask myself, is instruction necessary, right? So what is the problem? What is the product? What is the project? What are we trying to do? And I will talk about just the first two steps of the ADDIE model. And I'm going to invite the participants to go through and analyze some things with me. By going and doing an analysis, Dean was cool enough to send me a short bulleted list of kind of how a teacher would usually organize our lesson, as well as the website of materials. So what I've done is I've created a workspace for us that during the workshop, we can work together while we're in Zoom. And I'll be asking them and eliciting what they think their problems in the classrooms are. I'll elicit what projects they work on with their students. And product, I want them to formulate. While instructional design technology is kind of about the business of learning, of course, as a teacher, I see this more as a vocation. So some of this language I'm not quite comfortable with, but yet I think it is very important to recognize that within the education system, administration has a lot of accountability issues they need to deal with. And when we tend to think about what we are teaching and the final product that we want to make, what is the final outcome that we want to the student? And I'll connect that later as we go through these other tabs. I'll go through with the participants to actually analyze their context that they're teaching, the actions that will happen in class as homework and kind of in the future, because maybe the reason the students are studying English is for their future, and the content of the lessons, as well as more specifically the task, getting into the integrated skills there. From there, getting them to connect those different analysis to what are the different goals for those, what are the shorter, more manageable objectives, and finally what those outcomes are, kind of that product element I mentioned at the beginning. And finally, we'll flip over to the designing or redesigning, and I'll walk through a series of different things they need to think about, their resources, their schedule, their scope. And then finally, we'll make something that is very productive for them. Here, they can jump into their next lesson plan by taking 5-minute increments and designing their lesson by looking at the process, the milestone, and the feedback system. Going back to the presentation that I created, I have some other visuals that I'll share with them to be able to organize this, not just as a text-based presentation, but also as something visual-based. And then some different ideas with EFL. There's so many places to find different materials. And while the school and the curriculum may provide a lot, as a teacher, I feel that they probably should have their own little go bag of specialties that they can hang on walls or put on whiteboards or give out to students to be able to use and reuse. And these are some of the different things that I mentioned. Sorry. Yeah, I have a schedule that I'm way behind in. Um, for design, this is what that spreadsheet emphasizes. And then I have my email at the end and three critical reads. The Regolut, looking at different types of instruction that they might be able to do. And then both Driscoll and Shunk have free resources to help them to learn about some more theories that are relevant. Um, we have psychological theory about learning, as well as kind of the three main areas of behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism. So that is my idea. I hope you like it. Um, Thank you for your time and this opportunity. Okay.